Welcome back, MTG Joe here, and we're going to be playing a not controversial, but a deck that either people love or hate. Probably love to play, hate to play against. It is Simic Flash. I actually streamed for an hour, or recorded for an hour, so I thought a couple matches with this deck, and then realized I didn't actually hit record. So probably be doing a bit shorter of a round with this one here, just because I already played it quite a bit. So I lost that video. It was actually pretty good, so I'm kind of disappointed. But with the new set, we got two new counter spells and kind of tempo plays for the deck. We have Lofty Denial, which 2 mana, pay 1 to counter. If you have a flyer, they have to pay 4. Spectral Sailor, Brazen Borrower, and the Sharks can all make this be a improved mana leak. And then you have a Rewind, which lets you untap 4 lands, which is actually really good because you can counter as early as turn 3, and then Nightpack Ambusher the same turn. So what we're kind of pairing it up with, we have like the Spectral Sailors, Brineborn. I'm cutting down a couple Frilled Mystics, which you usually see in these lists in light of the Rewinds. I don't want to be too heavy on the 4-drops. And I'm actually trying out some Uros in the deck. Usually what I find with these Simic decks, like these flash decks, is you lose gas. So Uro is something that we can kind of refill on. Mystical Dispute main, because we can't let Teferi resolve. And then mana base is pretty simple. Within the sideboard, Soul Guide Lantern versus Graveyard, Aether Gust versus like the Team Wreck, and the Elementals, the red-based aggro decks, Negates versus like the control decks, Heroic Intervention versus board wipes, and like 1-for-1 removal. Scavenging Ooze comes in against either like the Cat Oven decks. I actually brought it in against Bant in the game that I recorded earlier and was really good. And then a couple Questing Beasts. So it's good against Bant. If a Teferi resolves, it lets you attack into it because they usually plus the Teferi. So it gives you an opportunity to deal some damage that way there. The one thing I may do after playing a game, if we run into Bant again, I might want to go up to a 3rd Negate, because these soft counters like Lofty Denial, they don't become as effective later in the game based on like them just ramping ahead. So we'll play some matches. I went 2-0 with it. I bet both Teamer Ugin Elementals and Bant ramp. So we are on Plat Tier 2. The season reset. Should have finished top 1200. Just waiting for the official email to come in. And then we'll probably play a couple more standard decks. Got some historic decks I'm working on as well. Kind of sweet. Exactly what we want. Threat and counter spells. Okay, so they go Love Struck here. So that's actually really good because we can bounce this token later. So depending what they play out here on 2, I might go Brineborn. Just because this will scale and present a bigger clock. And then from there, if this is mono green, having access to all the Aether Gusts is really good. No play there is actually great for us. So we have Uro afterwards. I think we just ride these to victory. Okay, so they have Ginger Brute. So this might be the the pump deck. I think we just race them here. Like we're hitting them for 7 this turn, and then we'll hit them for 8 next turn. They're hitting us for 2. So I think we go Dispute here. Lofty Denial because we have the flyers. Only cost 2 mana. So depending what we draw into. So they're holding back their token there. They'll block the Brineborn. Do we care about this? So I could counter this. They could like Vivian. I'm hitting him for 4 this turn. I hit him for 4 next turn. I think we just let this go. Like, them hitting us for 1 a turn is really not going to do much to us. Don't really care about the 1/1. Really the only thing I care about at this point is Stone Coil. I'll counter you. That speeds up the clock quite a bit. Okay. Shark Typhoon to make another token if we need it. So there we just asserted the beatdown roll. So the Aether Gust against the green deck seems good. Scavenging Ooze, perhaps. So I probably want to trim my curve down a bit. The Lofty Denials were fine. Brineborn doesn't seem that great on the play. Maybe a couple Ooze. Burrow's interesting. If we want Uro, if we just want flyers, maybe we get rid of a rewind. They're likely to dump their hand. Questing Beast could trade with some of the bigger stuff that comes down. I think we run it like this. Like, we can't bounce the brutes. Maybe Lofty Denial is not as good on the... Keep this. So this means I can't Growth Spiral. So I need to decide if I want to play this on 1. I think I do. Makes the Lofty Denial better afterwards. We could have flashed in and blocked, but because they have a lot of pump spells, it's probably not worth it. Okay, so we got rid of a removal spell there. If they're just chipping in for 1 a turn. Actually just think we do this now just to be mana efficient. Gives me the opportunity to counter. So playing the castle gives me the best chance of getting Wolf out, and I think if we have Wolf out we can just win. Brute. Sailor is actually pretty good because it lets me Lofty Denial and make them pay 4. They might have like ram through again here. Okay, it's fine. Use your removal there. The nice thing is they don't really have that formidable of a clock. So I can actually do a pretty cool play here. I can counter, float the green mana, pay for rewind without it, and then untap the green to get a second green. Okay, so now we raise 8 Titans. I actually did a almost hour stream without it, or recording, without it realizing it wasn't actually recording. I went 2-0 with it, so this is the first game actually being live. Took down game 1. See if they just get greedy here and go for... Okay, so... full control. So counter this. And then I could sneak in the wolf this way. Okay, big stone coil here. Actually, I probably should have countered that. I'm going to take 5 here, but I'll just make a couple wolves and then I can block. Sorry, Titans, I'll give you the deck list. Do I care about that? Probably not. So, mana efficiency wise, probably do this. It's a little bit more mid-rangey. I like the arrows in there. So we're okay with the blocks here. I get a second wolf here that lets me block the stone coil, and then I could counter anything they play out. So I can do this, and I can scry, so let me scry first. Actually, I can't counter it. Brazen Borrower is great. So they poke me for 1 here. So my play is probably bounce Stone Coil. on their turn. And then make another wolf this turn. Because if I do this... So if I bounce this now, I don't get the wolf. I can attack in for 6, but then I'm kind of dead on the backswing. So I think we do no attacks, get another wolf. Second Ginger Brute. So they have access to 6 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I could counter. Just try to win this turn. Because if I bounce that, so if I bounce that, they attack with this. That goes back to hand. They have 2 blockers. They block here. I hit him for 9. I hit him for 9, so I'm short. So I think we let this resolve. One short doing that way. Because like this, I can play the Brazen Borrower as well this turn and attack with it. Now they block, and they take... So they block 2, I have 6 attackers. Should be lethal. Hit him for 12. What have you been playing since the Reset Titans? They double block, but they're taking a whole bunch here. Did 1-0 on the video, 3-0 with the deck. We won, so we're happy. We'll run this for one more. This might be what it takes. Attack them at like a tempo speed. Maybe we don't want Uro in the deck. See. Keep. Lead on island. So this hand we don't have disruption. We're going to be more of an aggressor, so I want to see how this plays out. Is it, could be the, is it like tempo deck? Haven't played against that. I played with it, but Teamer Elementals. I think we're good on Sailors. We want something a little bit more impactful. We're not blocking anyways. So this turn I can Sailor, next turn I can Rewind and Shark Typhoon. Omnath. So let this come in. That's interesting. Probably would have gone for Brineborn. So I can draw a card with this, which is nice. Let them attack in. They get 2 triggers on Omnath. Interesting. Pumping up the Leafkin. Us not having a counter for this is bad. 4 Aether Gusts in the side will be good. That's fine. It's fine if they want a growth spiral there. Actually really good because I can dispute something potentially, which if we can catch it now with dispute would be good, just because late game dispute kind of loses a lot of its attrition. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, 8, so potentially Ugin this turn. Which I will happily Mystical Dispute. So let's get rid of the Cavalier here. Poke him for 1. This one's going to be interesting. Without having a bounce effect, we're a little loose. Yorion. Yorion can go away. We don't want all those elementals coming into play again. So X4. Trying to find another counter spell here. Frilled Mystic's great, so is Nightpack. I think if they want to trade Omnath here, I'm happy to do so. And like anything short of Yorion or like a Cavalier or an Ugin, we counter. If not, then I just drop down Nightpack. Yeah, like that gets countered for sure. Sick. Sick. Play a spell a turn. So Aether Gust in for sure. Probably Scavenging Ooze I like in this matchup. Lofty Denial comes out. They're a big mana deck, so taxing them 1 isn't that great. I don't think we want Shark Typhoon. Or maybe just instead of the Brazen Borrower, Shark Typhoon's better. At least it gets pseudo evasion against most of the deck. Brineborn kind of gets chumped on the ground. Let's run it back. Be nice if we can get the 4-0. This hand's reasonable. Just get ahead on arrows. Probably gust their play here. Keep them off the board because next turn's going to be an Uro turn. play up the castle here, so that way they don't know that we have the Mystical Dispute up necessarily. If we shock, it kind of telegraphs that. So hopefully this turn's like Omnath. Okay. Could be Aether Gust. I think we do this. Play this, and then play this, just in case they have Cavalier, I can counter it. Just dispute here. If they want to dispute back, they can. Okay, the Negate. I think we're fine letting that happen. Hey, pure coincidental. You can find the deck list right here. Probably want to set up Scry here. Want more action. Second Risen Reef can probably go away. So they have Uro. That's fine. I want to get a clock in, so I'm probably just going to get this Brazen Borrower going. Do we, or do we scry? Five cards, so I need one more in the grave. Let's scry here. Okay. I like both of those. Do I care about Ooze? Are they close to Genesis Ultimatum? They are. So I want to keep up if they do have Genesis Ultimatum. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. Yeah. That's the card that kind of just breaks our back if it comes down. So now we just try to close it out as quick as possible. So waiting on the Ooze to see. Okay, since we just got Shark Typhoon. Eat the Uro. So even if they Genesis here, we're not necessarily dead. Yeah, it's a good mix. Like, people are playing slow, so if you're just playing out like one thing a turn, you're usually pretty good. Okay, so that's kind of annoying because it gets the Ooze. Demir, I just find the issues the mana base. And then like Nightpack Ambusher alone wins the games, where Slither Wisp isn't necessarily like game over. Okay, we'll take another one of you. I think we do this still. They want to trade both of these for Uro. I think we're fine doing that. They get the card draw off Omnath right now. So I'm gonna keep this Typhoon. Okay, so they did get an Uro. So I'm gonna respond to the trigger here and eat their Uro. That way they don't get the ability to escape it. Kind of going off here. Hitting all those Fabled Passages has been good for them. Could use another Brazen Borrower. Bounce the this boy. Okay, so Dispute comes there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So not quite enough to attack. I think we're just holding still. I guess I could have played out the Typhoon. Oy. Okay, so Terror is scary. Terror means we want Counterspell. Don't get. Might have snuck this one out on us. Omnath's been really good. That's fine, just take the damage. So I get to deal 5 to something. See, maybe them milling out is a potential. Draw a card here. Passage isn't really going to do much. Eat that. Like, I could gain a lot of life, but they're hitting for just massive amounts. So I think what we try to do is surprise block them. I have 7 mana open for the Shark Typhoon. So if they attack in with the Terror, I might be able to catch them. It's fine. $13 cards. Arrow's pretty gross here. So they can target my arrow. They just go face. We don't get a chance to clip it here. So let them react. 12 cards. Probably made more sense to do 6 to the face. Like the amount of damage that Sailor is going to be preventing. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Probably dead still. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't think we have an out here. Hey Quantum. It's going well. 3-0 with the deck. We were up a game, but it was pretty close to closing this one out, but Omnath kind of just dragged them kicking and screaming. We ran into our first terror, and it was exactly its namesake. We're dead, so let's see if they miss block. How's it going with yourself? Okay, so Omnath is something that needs to go away. Do we want the questing beast? Maybe I want the Soul Guide Lantern. Brazen Borrower, maybe cut one of those. Run it like this. Yeah, I bet elementals earlier today. I really just think if you can get under them with counter spells and present like a reasonable clock up front, you're usually okay. I mean, from a tempo play, Aether Gust will bounce their whole board. we... I think I do this. Have the threat out early. Okay, so that's worse now that they have Leafkin. Pass turn here. Probably go Frilled Mystic as the counter spell first. Rewind plays better late game. Frilled Mystic also gives me an attacker. If they're not gonna play to the board, let's force their hand. Sure. Just do this now, since they have Uro in their deck. Kind of redundant that we have Soul Guide as well. So this is actually pretty good because now I can use the castle. Also can make a Typhoon for 3. I want to do this because it puts more pressure. Yeah. And then I just eat their thing and then I start attacking in. And then the game's pretty much wrapped up. Sweet. Almost up to diamond. So I'm going to wrap this one up. For those of you kind of tuned in late, I actually recorded an hour's worth of this deck and realized I wasn't actually recording it afterwards. So this is kind of the second go around. We're 4-0 with the list. Seems quite strong. Let's see what card we got. Terror. I like some terrors. Gadrock's actually not too bad. Definitely something to try out if you enjoy this type of archetype. Uro gives it some longevity. I think the mix here is pretty good. I really liked Rewind with some of these other spells. And the Typhoon felt reasonable being a 2 of. And then the sideboard, I don't think we want Heroic Intervention maybe. I think we might just want like Ceratops maybe, or just something else. I don't think them targeting our stuff's really that impactful. Just like a way to push through in some matchups. Maybe another Negate or something, but overall the bulk of this deck felt pretty solid. Anyways, appreciate everyone for stopping by. Let's see who's online and we can give them a raid. Here we go. Real Killer Dubs. Alright, I'm going to wrap this one up. Thanks everyone. Hope you have a great one, and we'll see you next time. Bye.